monsters.
We're losing Reapers too fast.
Most people never come back.
Do you think anything could survive that?
I won't take it all back. The reasons, the sacrifice, the blood.
Did we just commit a war crime?
Casper, oh my gosh, I am such a fan. I'm geeking out right now. I hope you understand that.
I'm a huge geek nerd, so I love it. I'm the hugest fan of sci-fi, so for me to be a part of it and in it and get to talk to other people who nerd out like I do is always exciting.
That's awesome to find a movie star being a nerd. I love it. I knew you were a nerd at heart.
I've been a nerd. I was going to Comic-Con in 1997, so I've been going around for a while. So I dig these kind of things. I just love them.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, talking about your new series, Salvage Marines, returning to sci-fi, but this time in a 6-part series. Was there a challenge on taking such a huge production? Because you're no stranger to the genre.
No, I'm no stranger to the genre. I love it. I love being in Starship Troopers or lead a battle angel or any sci-fi show. Really, I get such a thrill because I was a fan of it when I watched the original Star Trek or the original Star Wars or Doctor Who or Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers. All those shows really inspired me, and I got really excited. And this show is like a throwback to that. We're a little show. We didn't have a lot of money behind us. We just put all of it's in heart and soul. And I watched it. And I'm so proud of my fellow actors. They did such a great job, and they really pulled off some things that, you really need them to be present for. Otherwise, the show isn't going to work. But they all did, and it works. It's
well,
nice.
The original Star Trek had no money too, but they put their heart and soul in it. So that you're in good company. But your character. Yeah, Doctor Who too. Absolutely. Your character Samuel wants a better life for his family. He toils away as a laborer in this grim future. He has the drive to survive, doesn't he?
He does. He in Starship Troopers, my character signed up for a girl right away. And he was wealthy and he didn't need to, but that's why he signed up. And then he was like, mobile infantry, that's what it is. And he never questioned it. This character didn't sign up right away because he's like, oh, I don't want to die, because you're born with debt, and you're handed your father's debt and his father's debt, and then it just compounds. You can never get out of it, except for if maybe you join the Salvage Marines, but there's an 80% mortality rate. And I'm like, I don't want to die. But then my wife gets a kid. We have an unexpected kid at unexpected pregnancy, and that makes me go, I can't leave this to my son. So I join up. I think for a more noble reason there. But then once I start working with all the other Reapers, all the other Marines, Salvage Marines, I start developing a relationship with them, and I start questioning authority. Whereas Johnny Rico never did. He just followed the order. He was you count on him, which is great. But this one, challenging and questioning why all this is going on, was a lot of fun to play.
And you're playing close to real life. You co-star with your wife.
Yes, I do. I co-star with my wife. And she actually suggested the Lenara, who plays my wife. That's a good friend of hers. She called her up and was like, "Hey, you want to come kiss my husband?" So she even suggested that. So I kiss this beautiful woman because my wife made me.
Oh, yeah, that's a keeper. Don't let her get away.
She's a good woman. I don't deserve her.
Oh, and you got to be proud of your daughter too. Stranger Things this season, and she's a chip off the old block doing horror and sci-fi, right?
She's awesome. I'm so impressed that she's at this pop culture moment right now, and this time it's just fun to see her. And then we were at Comic-Con promoting the show. We had a huge panel. We had 7 of us there from the cast. We have a much larger cast, but we had at least 7 of us from it. And we just there were so many Chrissies out there. so many Chrissies everywhere. Everybody that I saw was taking pictures with them. People were sending pictures of Chrissy. And I'm just really proud of my daughter. She did a great job.
I'm sure somewhere in that sea of cosplay was a Starship Troopers costume. I know there had to be. So
there was.
Yes.
There was more Chrissies. There
was more Chrissies, right? A little jealousy of your daughter there. You serve as executive producer of the series too. How was that for you creatively?
I was a co-executive producer, so creatively it was great because in the beginning I was able to help cast a lot of my friends and family. Even my nephew plays me, so nepotism rules in that. But he looks like a little me, so it was we needed somebody 10. I'm like, well, my nephew's 10. He looks like me. And they're like, oh, great, and he's an actor, so that worked. So you know, it was awesome.
It's always incredible being controlled creatively, isn't it? You know, so you deserve it. You know, actors who do that, who, you know, been around for a long time, get to have that vision and make sure that, you know, it matches what their vision is.
Yeah, well, you know, these people, everybody really believed in the show. All the actors did, and the director really did, and the crew really were behind it. And so it was a lot of fun. And now we have Popcornflix, who have been the most amazing company. They brought us all to San Diego. They've been promoting. They've been getting out to the press people who it all seem similar to me because they're all say they're nerding out or whatever. And I'm like, yes, me too. And so it's fun for me because they really get it. And to have somebody behind your show that really gets it is just, it's heartwarming.
In our final moments here, Casper, I am the ultimate Starship Troopers fan. I think it's the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. I mean, I just love that movie to death. I remember seeing it first run in the theater the very first day with my friends, which theater it was in. I was wondering, can you give me your favorite Starship Troopers story?
I sure can. And first of all, I got to tell you, you have excellent taste.
Oh, thank you.
So, I think that Starship Troopers it's surreal, but you know, one of it was just a thrill to be there. There was one day I was out and we had 1,400 extras and we had 38 cast, 30 stunt guys, and I looked over behind the monitors at night and we're doing the drop shits. We're all running out there and there's just lots of us. And I took a moment. I just looked over there behind the camera. There was Paul Verhoeven, director of Starship Troopers and RoboCop, Ed Neumeyer, writer of Starship Troopers and RoboCop, and John Davison, producer of Starship Troopers and RoboCop, and Phil Tippett, this visual effects supervisor of RoboCop and Starship Troopers. And I'm just looking at it. I looked over there and I go, wait a minute. Peter Weller's #1 on his set, and I'm #1 on my set. I'm Murphy. I felt like I was RoboCop.
That is awesome. And just a little nerd point here. Phil Tippett was also doing the stop motion for the Tauntauns on Empire Strikes Back and all of those. So yeah, he's a legend. Yes, absolutely. So us nerds know who Phil Tippett is. You know, I'm on a red carpet years ago for an anniversary showing of E.T. and here comes Dennis Muren and I'm like hyperventilating and people are like, "What do you?" I go, "Do you know who that man is?" And Dennis Muren, the special effects he's done to create our universe, our special effects, and you know, so I love how you mentioned Phil Tippett, who deserves mentioning. So
he's a miracle what he did with that, and
yes.
I think that the special effects from there, the visual effects that they did, really hold up.
Oh, absolutely.
That hits off of each thing. I mean, they took so much time. They don't take that much time in movies now.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Well, Casper, congratulations on Salvage Marines. You know, this has been a total thrill talking to you. So I couldn't get to Comic-Con this year, but I'll be there next year, and I'm sure you'll be there too. So thanks so much for your time, and good luck with the series. Let's talk again soon, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's for free on Popcornflix.
Absolutely. Yes. I'll shout it from the mountaintops.
I don't know how they're making their money, but it's on them. You know, you can be born with debt in Salvage Marines, but you won't go into debt watching it on Popcornflix for free.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, buddy. Take care.
Thank you so much.